The pandemic continues to impact some dairy farmers' bottom lines. Now, some dairy producers received a smaller milk check than they anticipated. Corey Geiger is here to help us get an understanding. He is the managing editor at Hoard's Dairymen. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Melaine.
Let's start with an introduction to what is the producer price differential, or PPD, as people may know it.
You know, the producer price differential is really something that most farmers haven't paid a lot of attention to. It's always been there since actually federal order reform in 2000. But there's four classes of milk. The highest price paid one is class 1 beverage, and then it goes cascades down. Wisconsin pays a lot of attention to class 3 because that's cheese milk, and over 90% of the milk in Wisconsin gets paid on the class 3 price.
Okay.
But in a pooling system, if someone is buying, so my parents for many years shipped to a processing plant. Everybody, if that's the highest price milk, we'd all be scrambling to ship to a processing plant for bottled milk. But they pay into a pool. And
I want to make sure we can see. You've got a nice display here on camera with your dollars. You brought some props with you.
I brought some real simple props. But they pay into that pool, and they put money into that pool.
Okay.
And if you're a plant making cheese or class 4 product, which is butter or powder, not a lot of that in Wisconsin, they will take out of that pool so that the dairy farmers throughout the neighborhood and the state get a similar pay price, and they're not all fighting for the class 1 pay price. That's what normally happens. Some farmers will call it premiums. Producer price differentials are in all the multiple component markets. A multiple component would be butterfat, would be protein, would be lactose, all those things that make cheese and butter and that part, not really the water, right?
Sure.
So these federal orders with component pricing go from California all the way to the Northeast, which is New York, and we're called the Upper Midwest. So along comes COVID. Cheese prices start out the year at about $2. April 28th, they go to $1 a pound on the CME, and then they skyrocket to $3 per pound in July. We've never seen this kind of volatility. And from May to June, the price per 100 pounds of milk, about 12 gallons, went up $8.90.
Wow.
And normally, those plants that are doing class 1 are putting in the pool, it's always the highest price paid milk.
Okay.
It's an advance price. But because cheese skyrocketed so quickly, it leapfrogged all the other milk components by $8.90, and boom, we have negative price differentials. And so plants can decide, class 1 plants always have to pay in.
Okay.
They're usually the ones with the most money.
Sure.
Makes sense. But a class 3 plant in this situation can depool. In California, they all depooled. In Arizona, they all depooled. And so they had negative price differentials of $7.91 per hundredweight. It hurt. When you see all these headlines, and even in the popular press, of cheese being record prices, all of a sudden the milk check lands. Oh my goodness, what just happened? I wasn't anticipating that. Now, in Upper Midwest, Wisconsin, Minnesota predominantly, only half of them depooled. So we could have been a negative $8. We were $3.91. This problem is going to persist, but not as bad.
Okay.
Why is it going to persist? Because cheese class 3 price in July here is going to be almost $24. Class 4 butter powder is going to be $14. There's a $10 spread.
Okay.
Those two prices, 24 and 14, make the average that propel class 1. And because there's such a spread yet, there's going to be a little bit of a negative producer price differential, not as bad as everybody saw in the June milk checks.
Okay.
But we're going to have this for a little while yet.
Well, it has helped so much for you to break those numbers down, because I think there are a lot of producers out there who've seen that line on their check but never paid a whole lot of attention to it, because for most of them it worked in their favor up until now.
Up until now, it was predominantly a premium or more money in your milk check. So you never paid attention to
I'm going to go back and rewind this interview, watch it again, because it's still taking me a bit to wrap my head around it, but I appreciate you breaking it down and making it easier for us to understand. Corey, thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Great to be here, Melaine.